All right, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Ben Young here from Nudge, and we've got to my right across the room we've got Ari. To my left we've got Jess, and then on the other side of the pond, it's almost two ponds, is Gustav over in Sweden.
Almost 2 ponds.
Each Friday we do a newsletter, This Week in Native Ads, talking about the latest in native ads, emerging media and content. Just kind of talking about this next evolution in the industry. And so we've started doing a live stream just to share some of the insights from the week. And so I think this week it's been a bit quieter. The last few weeks there's been a lot of updates, a lot of data points and studies. So it was a little bit quieter. What stories do we have? I think first off, we have some beautiful photos from Sweden. Is it nice and warm?
It is nice and warm. I've been swimming quite a lot. It's glorious.
Yeah.
It's almost too warm.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. It's been raining here all week. So we saw Hearst announce their data studio. So they formed a 20-person internal team to collate data on how Hearst readers are responding to advertising, to help sell that in through to advertisers. I think this is a smart move. There is a lot of data at their fingertips. You do need to wade through it, and brands are asking for more and more data. Like, everyone wants increased transparency, so the demands for all suppliers are just going up. We see that a lot with the brands that we work with, often working with 2 or 3 data suppliers. Someone has to sort through that data, get meaning from it, and insight. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting just seeing the growth in the data space and in how different companies are approaching it and the different ideas. I know a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the idea of a data translator within an organization. Someone that's trying to take the information and turn it into meaning. Obviously we do that very well with our executive notes. Not to get too salesy.
To make the plug.
But whether it's that or a company with the size and scale of Hearst actually building out an entire studio and making this such a focus is really a testament to how brands and businesses are trying to figure out what to do with all the information they have. I think in a respectful way, probably now more than ever, given all the pushback we're seeing across the globe.
It also definitely adds value to the advertisers who are working with them, because that data can actually inform their campaigns and optimize them.
Yeah, that's interesting. And also, I think over time they want to be able to suggest new audiences based on their data for better outcomes, which is also super handy for any advertiser.
Yeah, I think any advertising conversation led with data is a richer, more constructive conversation. Like, there's less judgment. It's like, we've used this data to guide us. And I think advertisers really respond and trust that, as long as they trust the data, of course.
It's also interesting when you think about guiding, you think of the idea of traffic and traffickers, and one of the quotes that stood out to me in that article was that ad ops role is switching to more of a technical role than just the analytical role. Right? That historically ad ops teams were traffickers, that they're really now focused not just on moving the ads, but on getting those ads in front of the right people. And that was from Charles Woolrich.
Interesting.
Who's running the data studio.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Gustav, do you want to tell us a bit about this interview with Nicholas Jackson?
Definitely. As Ben said, I have branded content specialist, and we spoke about everything from the creative processes for custom content campaigns to data's role in the creation process to big opportunities and challenges in the industry. There were a bunch of good outtakes. I really liked when he stated that there is no such thing as a business engaging with custom content. It will be another person. Thus, a B2B campaign needs to still speak to and connect in an inspiring way. And I think that's so true. Sometimes I think it's easy to forget who you're actually talking to and get your story in line with your objective. So I really enjoy that quote.
Yeah.
But yeah, go in and read it. It's a good interview. It was fun.
Yeah, it's not mindless businesses reading the content. It's real people, right? Well, ideally, it's real people. Ideally. You got to keep the bots happy as well, though.
Yeah. It's true.
I did like his favourite.
I know where you're going with this.
My favourite campaigns are the ones with returning clients.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Isn't that how we all feel?
Yeah, I think we all feel that. But it was nice. It was like, it's because they trust us, and it means I can do better work. Yeah, it was good. All right. What else do we have?
I like the Tech Republic interview with Josh Sternberg.
Yeah.
I just gave it a shout out on Twitter. I really like Josh's bracelets.
Yeah.
I've got
specifically.
He's got. It looks like his kids made it for him.
Yeah.
So I've certainly got a stash of child-made jewelry at home, and I randomly pull out artwork in my bag, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I really also just appreciate the way he broke down and discussed the ecosystem a little bit. I think it's something that we deal with a lot. The term native advertising, and even this email that we called this week in native advertising, is very confusing for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, I know the way I think of native advertising today is more about the programmatic native ad networks doing native advertising. While we have content marketing being the broader space, content marketing being what brands themselves are doing directly, branded content being what they're buying from publishers, and obviously social being what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
But it's so confusing and so overwhelming for everyone in the space. I mean, we're a player in the space, and sometimes, like, how do we describe these things? So I think Josh did a great job of breaking that down, and also really just talking about the value of it, right? It's about giving something back to the audience in exchange for being able to get higher CPMs, which is a need everyone has in the in the world of ad blockers.
Yeah. How do you cut through
and commoditized content, right? Yeah. Advertising, all of it.
Yeah, it was actually we did some research a while back, seeing is there any difference in the consumption of branded content from people with ad blocking turned on versus off?
Okay.
And we actually found people with ad blocking turned on spent, I think it was like 23% longer on branded content.
Wow. Do you think it's because the content was so high? Is it the quality of the content was so high? Do you think they were just like missing advertising and they were like, all right, I finally got a good ad, I'm going to dive into it?
I think it speaks to the testament of just good advertising, right? Content's good. And the great thing about branded content is you click on things that you want to read, learn, spend time with. That's why it works so well, right? If you're not interested, you don't click on it.
And you find it in places that you're endemically interested in, right? Like you're not getting served a piece of branded content from T-Brand Studios just because you happen to be on the internet. You're there because you're into the New York Times, and into their voice, and you're part of their audience, and they understand how to speak to you. That's the beauty of it all.
I think it's good if the piece of content is made for a specific platform where it is, because what we see a lot is people just repurposing a certain piece to fit all of these different platforms, and it just doesn't always work. And I was thinking about this a lot because this week I went to this VR and marketing panel, and they were talking about one of the issues in VR right now is that when advertisers are trying to do something in VR, they're not thinking about how can they make something that'll be cool as an experience in VR. They're just thinking like, how can I take this Facebook ad and push it through? So with something like branded content, it's so much easier to make it feel like it actually belongs there, and that's why people want to spend more time interacting with it.
That's it. It's the nuance, which I think a lot of creators miss, right? It's not just about being native to the shape and widget size of a publisher, but it's about the nuance and the purpose. And if someone's there for an immersive experience in VR, that's what they want. It's a good point.
And I think depending on the platform, you have different goals. Like I might go on Facebook just to look for like some video that's going to take my mind off something, and on Instagram, I want to see something aesthetically pleasing. For that reason, the ads I'm served on either should look different.
Yeah, we don't need to overcomplicate it. Like,
We all
Which
love it.
too often happens with marketers, right? They
Yeah.
get too convoluted.
Too convoluted, and also they just don't think like humans,
No.
right? To go back to the interview that Gustav did, right? At the end of the day, these B2B business decision makers are humans who interact and are on the internet, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
We are them. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes. Excellent. What's a final one that we'll touch
I
on?
think with
Amazon.
Facebook. Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
Which one? The big threat.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's this article describes exactly what we did as a business. The Cambridge Analytica stuff came out, and I think it was reasonable for people to say we want better control over how all of this data we didn't realise was being created is being used. So we as a business paused our advertising, and then we've looked at other sources and gone, actually we're getting better ROI in different places. That's not to say Facebook doesn't have a role, but it has forced us to go, what else is out there? And that's what this is speaking to, like people, advertisers just going, all right, let's just have a look and see, see what else.
Yeah. So I support that and having a look, but I was going to have a little bit of a counterpoint. But now, obviously, for Ben and Gustav, not to giving your thought behind it, and that we weren't seeing as good, strong results there as maybe in other places.
Yeah.
Is that I also think there's a good question about like how you're actually doing it. Right, and we're different.
Yeah.
So let's talk about big brands for a moment.
Yeah.
But big brands are still often in the Facebook environment doing exactly what Jessica just described.
Yeah.
Right, they're taking ads from one place and repurposing it. They're putting their TVC on Facebook, and they're like, "Why isn't this converting for us?"
Yeah.
So I call bullshit a little bit on some of these articles.
Yeah.
And then they come out a lot, right?
Yeah.
There's always every couple months big headlines, and obviously the data piece and the Cambridge Analytica
It concludes around the CPMs are so low, advertisers aren't going to go.
But if they really want to see the results, they have to do better work, right? It comes down to the creative, to the targeting, to the approach, to the optimization.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I do think broadly there is a creative glut in digital. There's not enough great work, and the bar isn't high enough.
Yeah. There's not. The tricky part about Facebook, is that it is a pretty bland canvas at the end of the day, right? Like it's giving,
and it's a personalized canvas. What you get from Facebook is different to me, different to Jess, different to Gustav.
But here's the thing: on one hand, yes, but on the other hand, no. Right? Like the nodes of information in the middle are different.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the experience is the same.
Yeah.
We're looking at the same blue and white page with different words and pictures in the middle of it.
Different boxes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't give too much space except for those little boxes. It's different than when you used to have advertisers doing site takeovers and all sorts of more immersive visual experiences.
Yeah. Interesting. How should, so they touch on like Adidas. How should Adidas be using Facebook? Like what would be the best use case?
I mean,
I see Adidas all over Instagram. I don't really use Facebook that much, so I don't recall seeing them on Facebook.
Yeah,
but I'm sure
but
they must be.
I think that's such a broad question, right?
Yeah.
Adidas has, you say Adidas, I say Adidas, has such, they've got so many different, Instagram is probably the right approach for that. For the mid-market and for, I would even say, again, my assumption, totally not data-based.
Yeah.
But for that middle market, for the people the sports fans that are buying more for practical usage.
Yeah. There's like performance enthusiast, fashion,
streetwear. Adidas Original, Adidas Neo, which is youth focused, Adidas Sport, and Adidas Soccer, or you might say football.
When I see Adidas on Facebook, I think it's usually just like retargeting that follows me because I'm looking at that pair of shoes
Yep.
and I can't
Yep.
commit to buying it.
Yep.
I haven't really noticed them doing any other kind of advertisement on Facebook. What stands out to me
Yep.
is Instagram, because that's the platform that I prefer to use. So I see their partnerships with different people, and I think like when they do that stuff, it looks great. I don't really know how they do that on Facebook though, because I don't even follow those influencers or interact with them on Facebook.
The data gets past me.
Yeah, they're just retargeting you, pumping up someone else's posts.
Yeah.
Listen, Facebook's not my platform of choice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
shots fired.
Sure. All right. I think we'll call it for this week. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
You can connect with us on Twitter at Give It a Nudge, and from there you should be able to see each of our individual Twitter handles. Thank
And
you.
subscribe to This Week in Native Ads.
Join us next week. All right. Bye.